in the event of any challenge to the ownership of that property or to the investment, because you can buy land through fraudulent means. You have had a situation where somebody buys a land, piece of land, okay, and the proper documentation has not been, was not done, and then somebody builds a house there. That house automatically belongs to the person who owns the land, even if you built a 26-story building on it. If the person takes you to court and you don't speedily compensate that person, the person wins the case and it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, and the person wins. That's the end of the news in Fufuga for you. You know, automatically that property belongs to that person. So all of this narrative, without stamping, registration, are precautionary measures that you need to take in order not to fall victim of, you know, those kind of situations. I mean, there are examples that are given precedent. The case of, you know, of my home versus registered trustees of Christ Church of God. You know, so many examples of that. Next slide. Registration. Similar to that, you know, to the one that we've just talked about. Yeah, in similar vein, under land registration. Yes, please.
GIS and LIS in Delta states. For the sake of people who have bought lands, if you do only LIS and GIS, and you don't go back to the Ministry of Lands and Survey to buy the lodgement form, where they will give you a government number, if you have case with that land or that property, you will not win the case in court. So after the GIS and the LIS, go back to Ministry of Physical and Urban Planning. Get a form where you will apply to lands again, and there will be lodgement. You also pay for that lodgement. It is that lodgement that puts a seal. That's why it comes under perfection. So don't stop at LIS, GIS. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I said here, you pay for GIS, you pay for LIS, you pay for lodgement. In our own case here, we don't stop at GIS and LIS.
I mean, that's good information, you know, for all of us. And because some people haven't gotten, you know, documentation from the GIS office, might think that that is the end of the story. So what she's saying is that haven't gotten all the documentation right, I've gotten your C of O, you still need to go to fiscal planning and get a number. But in most cases, once, you know, you have paid the lawyer to do all of this for you, because most of the time, you do not do these things by yourself. If you don't involve the lawyer, you know, you have not done anything. Because the lawyer that is going to go through all of these processes for you, and then, of course, in the process of lodging with the LIS, GIS, and all that, you're obviously going to get a number to, you know, ensure that the deed has been perfected. Okay? But I think the crucial information here is that the document might be brought to you without the number. If that happens, she's reminding you now that you need to do a follow-up on that and ensure that you have that number. Assuming the lawyer did not include the payment of that in the perfection for you. Okay? Now, development control / planning. Under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, town planning is a residual matter. This means that it is neither in the exclusive legislation list nor the concurrent list. As such, only the state government has power to regulate it. Even though at the end of the day, if you have issues, you must still go to the Supreme Court, which is federal. Because in our constitution, whereas there's this division between, you know, concurrent, exclusive, and residual lists, it is the Supreme Court, which the states don't have. And under normal federal arrangement, the states are also supposed to have Supreme Court, like what happens in the United States.
I'm in the class.
Okay?
How are you doing?
Now, those are the challenges. So you need to be aware that in spite of all these theoretical explanation, you need to read between the lines in order to be able to comprehend, most of these issues that are involved. That pursuant to the exclusive jurisdiction of the states, the states enacted their time and country planning laws. Thus, investing in land requires an understanding of what kind of structures that may be erected or business that may be, done in a particular location as permitted by the law. Otherwise, the investor may find that he has expended huge sums of money on a piece of land that is not useful for this type of structure. I mean, within the federal territory, for instance, I don't know if they have started doing that here. It's supposed to be okay.
How are you guys doing? I'm in the class. How are you?
It is only residential.
Olaton, how are
Some
you doing?
places it's commercial. Some places it will be both residential and
Olatan, how are you
commercial.
doing?
You can have a structure, one single
Chinaza, how are
structure
you?
that is both commercial and residential. In some places you cannot have commercial as long as it is only residential. Okay? Now, the process entails the submission of the architectural drawings of the proposed structures along with title documents to the relevant town planning authority for approval upon the payment of the assessed fee. Evidence of payment, blah, blah, blah. Top paragraph. The process is regulated by the time and country planning law of Bendel. Okay? That is Edo Delta State of 1976 as applicable in the then Bendel, which is now applicable in Edo and also applicable in Delta. That was the 1976 Act that I was referring to, even though I was almost contradicting myself.
Thank you.
By using the 1978 Land Use Act. Okay? Where a land investor fails to obtain building plan approval and proceeds to erect a structure on the land, that structure is liable to be demolished by the government. They will see them, writing, using rates to mark all of these things most of the time. Have you ever seen, except in few cases, they hardly destroy all those buildings. As soon as you go and see them in their offices and all.
Thank you, Olato. How are you doing?
They are waiting for you to do all those structures. They come and mark it. By the time you do settlement and all of that, my name is a labor leader, so I don't agree. They will also know this. Yes.
So if only you can go back to this slide, the one that talks about the process of submission. These architectural drawings, please.
Awolowo, thank you. How you doing?
My brothers and my sisters. Because as civil servants, we do a lot of sacrifice. We don't eat well, we save a lot, we wear one cloth 1 year, 2 years, in order to buy something for the future. Please, while your architect is doing drawings, subject your architect to other architects. There's what we call land space. Some of us, these land speculators, they will lure us to buy state land. And even when we buy genuine land, the setbacks that are supposed
Please
to be
subscribe to my channel, please. Please.
Let your architect be professional. And when your architect is giving you advice, don't say, I'm not getting money. Tomorrow, you regret it. Many others said something, he said they are not demolishing. I tell you the truth, there is a committee in the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. A lot of people are crying. Even though you don't see physical marks, there is a budget. We have state budgets, original budget, for demolition of defacing properties. So this thing is real. Well, we don't really have a lawyer to go through all of this, but let's be very attentive to this aspect. It may look abstract because all those sacrifices you made, at the end of the day, that small property you are able to buy, you go and build one thing, and after 5-10 years of retirement, the government will come with their caterpillar. If you like, swear from now till tomorrow, nothing will happen because you have done the wrong thing.
Very important advice. Yes. You see, even if our inputs so far are the things learned from this, program, it is very, very instructive. Yes, I, just from experience anyway, because most of the time you see all these markings, and then you go there next year, second year, third year, you find that these structures are still there. That's why for me, I'm just assuming that most of the time they don't do this thing. But you recall when Wike took over in Abuja, you can see the lot of demolitions that have happened there. So the point is that some of the time, these things could be really, really true. Okay? Yes, even now that they have marked it and they have not demolished it, like she said, so many years down the road, another leader might come and want to implement the laws to the letter, and then you are in danger. So don't take this simplistic view that I've expressed, as maybe, for granted, So these things will actually happen. And that's why she's begging, especially for we civil public servants who have made so much sacrifices, and then you manage to own one hamlet, and then they're going to destroy it in the future, whether when you are around or even when you are gone. So it is better to do the right thing. Okay? I was not necessarily justifying the fact that most of these things have not been demolished. There have been instances where people have built their structures on the waterways, and all because of these land speculators. Those ones have been actually demolished. And then the ones I was referring to is that, I have a compound here now, and then I built some other thing inside. And then you see people from the fiscal planning coming to market, red. Okay, they put bad on it. I've never really seen most of those structures destroyed. Those were the ones I'm referring to. Because as long as it's within your compound most of the time, according to what she's saying now, that could change anytime. It depends on the administration. Okay? Even though it's a compound that you have owned for 50 years, and you put a structure there that was not originally in the architectural drawing, it could have serious implications. Nobody's saying that you don't put any other structure, but you must go to the ministry and ensure that those things are properly documented. If they give approval, then you can go on. If no approval, there's this committee. Okay? And building plan for justification, building plan may be justified on the ground that it raises a presumption of regularity against the agency of government that granted it in favor of the grantee, asserting his title in case of Mohammed with the Farmer Supply Company, of 2019. These are just now post-investment obligations. What are the obligations? Post-investment obligations. Having acquired land, referring to all those legal, terms that governs investment on land and property. Here we refer to the obligation of the investor after the investment. There are some rates and charges which a landowner may be required to pay to the government on an annual basis. This varies from place to place. That's a fact. Okay? You pay ground rent every year. You pay taxes, you pay all manner of things depending on the state. What they pay in Akwa Ibom is kind of different from what they pay in Rivers, Dito, Edo, and perhaps Delta. So you must know that this thing is a continuum. After all, the land is only on lease to you. You must pay tax on this, property. Now, in Edo State, as in Delta, to a large extent, there is the Land Use Charge Law of 2023, modeled after that of Lagos State. The law is a bundle of 3 charges comprised of tenement rate, property tax, and ground rent. So there are even 3. Okay? It is payable by property owners. Both the property tax and the ground rent is for the state, while the tenement rate is for the local government. It is an annual payment which may be reviewed at least once every 5 years. Even though most of us don't pay this rate, because this is the part of the world where we expect the government to do all things for us, and we do nothing for the government. Okay? What do I mean by that? You pay tax, for your income, your salary. Okay? You pay as you earn here. That's what most people pay. You see the excuse my auntie is giving now. Say because she did borehole for herself, she's buying generator or using solar that the government is supposed to provide.
Yes.
Yes. Those are correct now. The time, you cannot overgeneralize. If you don't pay, let's say 80% of us in this class now don't pay. How is the government going to get that money to provide you with that water system that you need? How are they going to be able to provide electricity? Because many of us don't pay. That's why we have those challenges.
Is there like
It's a presumption. The challenge is that there are no patrons in this part of the world. Ghana is even a lot better. And even all these other smaller, republic. Anyway, let's quickly run through the remaining slide. You were probably not, with all due respect, you probably were not, born in the era of ECN. The era where we had. Is there anybody here who experienced pipe-borne water? When you were growing up? You experienced, electricity, even though it was not, also that regular. It was regular. It was more regular than what it used to be.
No, it's no longer available now. It's regular. It's no longer available.
There are a lot of factors.
No.
There are a lot of factors that are contributed to where we are at today.
It is greed, sir. It's greed, sir.
We need to move out there because this thing will echo.
It's greed and selfishness, sir.
Boys, the only country we're talking about, it began somewhere. They moved from airport to airport, right? So we as a developing country,
Yeah, thank you so much.
we have also reached a stage. The issue we have, we want to have oil room. We want to say we have so much to spend, don't know what to spend
Are you in
money.
Nigeria here?
We can go back to that stage. We had some senses then also. What do we do with the money? The issue is misappropriation. Otherwise, I could have water board in here and all of that. They were functioning. Nobody didn't bother to talk
they were
about
functioning
boreholes.
at a
I grew
time
up seeing borehole what?
before
With bench,
selfishness.
getting water from borehole.
Okay.
What are they?
Where in
Go
Nigeria?
down to find some ice cream ones that are working and not working. The issue we have is not the money, but the leadership. How do we appropriate these things? The issue is with us. That's why we are going to be taxed before we pay. Before we sell, which is wrong. I don't know what socialists can do, but I don't know.
You guys should come. I'm in the class. How you doing? Hi.
Because we have the money.
That's my
But those who are holding this money and misappropriating it, that's what we are.
Well, nobody is contesting the fact that there are challenges of governance. There's corruption. One of the things we talked about is, audience, please, I don't have one class. Please. One of the things we talk about is corruption in this country. Everybody knows about that. Your orientation, if you continue to be dogmatic and put the blames at the doorsteps of others continuously, we will not go anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you. thing happen, I don't like them. Because don't make people we don't like come out from.
They tell you. I don't
No, if I won't go and forget, I would have checked my data. And this bank thing when I do now, I don't know if it's one. Is it very bad? I don't even know any of them can number for it.
But they don't still make you expect that now.
I don't use the opportunity to come with Hello, how you doing? What's up? Good morning to you. I'm in the class. Where are you watching from? Please, can you kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed? I love you. Mwah. I'm in a training.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want you to stand up. We are not going out. We've already given you 5 minutes break before. So just stand up. Stand up, everyone. Please, when I give you instruction, follow through the instruction, please.
Yes, sir. I've heard you, sir.
Stand up, everybody. Stand up, everybody.
Shake your body.
I didn't say go out. I said stand up.
We are standing.
Just shake your body.
Close your.
Right, stretch your hand.
Yes, sir.
This will kill fatigue to
Yes,
make
sir.
you to be energized. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can sit down now.
Thank you. The exercise wasn't too much. This person, no form of phone.
Please, yesterday we have a standing rule. I don't know whether it's because that's my pattern. Let me not just say nothing.
Doctors.
I don't tolerate people moving around when I'm lecturing, please. So if you want to be here, get seated. If you don't want to be here, please kindly just leave us. There were a number of standing rules to which we established yesterday, and one of them is no movement here and there is not welcomed. Number 2 is ensure that your phone is on silent. Don't off it. Might have an emergency call. Let it be on silent. Is that understood? Now, I told you the other time that I have a student here who passed through me, right? Coincidentally, another one, I started him again. There are 2 now, right? Who are, should I say, offspring of the academic offspring, right? So today we are going to be looking at grievance redress mechanism. Grievance redress mechanism. Now, when we talk about grievance, there are a lot of things that comes to your mind. So before I start, I'm going to differentiate between grievance, complaint, right? I will differentiate between grievance and complaint so that you know each of them. Sometimes, when you are not happy with how things are in your organization, in your firm, in your agency, you gossip, right? You talk to either your office mate or colleague, right? You tell the person, I'm not comfortable with what's happening, I don't like this thing they are doing, and what have you. That is not grievance. Are you listening?
Yes.
So you are going to see the real meaning of grievance as this class progresses, right? Okay, now this class we're going to run through a number of things. The first thing is conceptualization of things. When I say conceptualization, we're going to be looking at certain meanings of the words to which we are using. Then we're going to be looking at grievance redress mechanism. That is why we are here, this topic, right? This number 2. Then we'll also be looking at benefit of grievance redress mechanism, the value chain of grievance redress mechanism, then barriers of grievance redress mechanism, then removing this barrier, how to remove this barrier. Then in course of this, I will be chipping 1 or 2
into it by looking at the cause, what actually bring about this issue of grievances, right? Now, grievance, before I give you definition of grievance as is here, right? We can see it has to do with employee being uncomfortable, disappointed, or aggrieved about managerial decision. Now, before you get to this point, as I said, there is something that actually happens which refers to as dissatisfaction. When we talk about dissatisfaction, is anything that disturbs, right, that you are not okay with, that disturbs the functionality of a place, how things are, you are getting disturbed, you are not really, it's not really acceptable to you, right? We'll talk about dissatisfaction. What I'm trying to say is, before you get to the point of grievance, it is procedural. You move from different steps before you get to that point of grievance. Many a time, persons mistake grievance for other things. Grievance can be seen as the end product or the outer part of dissatisfaction and complaint. So the first point of call when we are looking at this issue of grievance is that we talk about what did I say? Dissatisfaction. The first one that comes about is not even complaint. The first one is dissatisfaction. So there must be this ambience of being something is not satisfied. You have not been able to meet the need. You know, there is a difference between want and need. You must have heard of window shopping, right? Yes. You go into a place, you are not buying anything, just go, right? Now, you must have also heard of what they call impulse buying. Like, let's assume this program we are doing now, at the end of this program, we are all giving monies, right? Including dollars and naira. Then when you check the volume of that money, when you get to ShopRite, what you had in mind to buy could be just toothpaste and toothbrush. That is what you had in mind. Our organ here said he's going to ShopRite. He wants to get something, and he has specific thing in mind. Assuming he gets there, maybe the pocket is loaded, right? He decides to see phone. He didn't bargain for phone, and he saw the phone so appealing. Then you say, I think I need this one. You get the phone and pay. Then you see cookies, you see chocolates, you see it, you pay. These are what refers to as impulse buying. Impulse buying, they are actually want satisfaction. They are meant to satisfy wants, not needs. Needs are things that you desire, right? For daily functionality, if you are unable to get it met, it will affect how you behave, how you act. Do you understand? For instance, this morning, some of you have eaten before coming here. Once it's 12, 1, 2, 3 today, if you have not eaten, you get disturbed. Yes. You need to take something, right? Yes. Now, that is not want. That is what need. So, if you have eaten, in my hotel where we are staying, I saw somebody saying it took 3 eggs. Because every morning we have a buffet. It's like a buffet, you go there, you just take anything you want to eat, right? A person has taken 1 egg. We show free. He has taken the number 2 egg. Every other egg to which he took is not desire, it's not need again, right? He just wants it because it's available. Do you get it? He just wants it. You understand? So those are wants, right? So once we understand difference between this want and need, you must now also know that when it comes to issue of grievance, there is this thing we refer to as having the procedure that brings it into being. When your desires are not met, which symbolizes the need that we talk about, that not want to please. Yes, she went off. When that need is not met, it leads to dissatisfaction, right? Now that dissatisfaction is what gives birth to complaints. The complaint is informal, you have not actually brought it into the attention of management. You can be gossiping, talking to this man that we are supposed to be giving according to what you were doing before. The other day, you still remember what transpired that day? What Trust Day, right? Right? Now, some persons were saying we want tea break. Unknown to them that they were even helping you. Instead of tea break, it was converted to lunch. Lunch is always bigger than tea break. Lunch is bigger. Tea break is breakfast, which is supposed to be light food, right? Although I've discovered that the light food, if people have the opportunity, is no longer light again. It's more heavier than even the lunch, right? Now, if you check all of that, the complaints, right, is you going around telling people of what is happening. But you have not brought it formally to the management. Like something is happening to you in your office, as we're going to see in the course of this class, the number of causes of this grievance. Now, if something is happening, you are not comfortable with what is happening. Your needs are not met, right? Then you decide to meet your colleague and you are gossiping. I'm using the word gossiping now because it has not gone beyond the scope of where you are. That singular heart is referred to as what? Complaint. Do you get it? We have progressed from one stage now to another. The first stage is what? Dissatisfaction. There must be dissatisfaction, right? Is that dissatisfaction that gives birth to what? Then complaint gives birth to what? Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself now. Now, once you have this, the definition of grievance, as not stated here, has to do with employees being uncomfortable, which I thought, then disappointed. Disappointed is talking about dissatisfaction, right? And aggrieved about managerial decision. And these managerial decisions that you agree about, you have brought it formally to the attention of the management. Please take notes. If it has not been brought formally to the attention of management, we don't classify it as grievance. It has not met that requirement. Hence, it might not be resolved. Because when we're talking about grievance redress now, we're talking about those dissatisfaction, right? Those complaints that have been put to the attention of management that we want to put an end to. Because grievance has negative impact on our functionality as employee. Right? It also has negative impact on the management itself. And it also has negative impact on production, whatever you are doing. Do you understand? Now we'll now look at, I will briefly look at, please you can write this down, you won't see it in this slide before I move on. The different types of grievance, or what I say, the causes, what causes or bring about this grievance, this dissatisfaction. Please put the causes. What bring about this dissatisfaction we're talking about? This dissatisfaction that led to complaint and not gave birth to what? Gave birth to what? Please, my class is always, everybody should be carried along. I don't fish on one side is following the other side. Everybody. And that's why we don't need to sleep when we're in this class. Right? So I said the first step is what? Then dissatisfaction afterwards. Complaint afterwards. Good. Then I said there are things that stimulate it. There are things that bring it into being. There are things that what will cause it to happen. Right? Then one, I'll classify into one, economy.
He's holding in Asaba.
Economy reason.
Secretariat.
Number one, economy reason. Number two, work environment reason. Normal work. W-O-R-K, work. Work environment reasons. Then we have supervision reasons. Then we have employee relation reasons. Then we have organizational change reasons. Now, all of this, if you are reading it, you can look up, so I will just explain. The first one, I said economic reasons. Economy. economic reasons. The second one, I said work environment.
Thank you.
The third one, supervision. The fourth, employee relation. Then the last one is organizational change. Now the first one, which I talk about economy, this one is
Last one's what?
what you commonly or usually experience,
Organizational change.
right?
Change.
Everything that affects your economic power can actually lead to dissatisfaction. E.g., when you have been working in a place for for some time, and your salary has not been increased, your welfare is not met, you are dissatisfied. This is what leads to strike, industrial action most often, right? So when this dissatisfaction, this desire is not given adequate attention to when it has been
part of Nigeria
laid down or initiated, it can actually make you to not to perform well as expected. So the first one, as I said, is what? Economic reasons. And I said this one is one that affects your economic power, like your salary, right? The welfare packages that you're supposed to be giving, you're not giving, and you decide to revote, what have you. Then the next one, I said work environment. Work environment, I have moved past offices. This complex is quite big and very fascinating. But when I moved past through some of the offices, I discovered I have, you can see close to 3 employees or staff in one room. I don't know whether it's if they are visitors, but I don't think visitors will come in the morning. They'll visit you. Or do they do that here? In the morning, they will just come and visit in the office. Okay, they are staffs. Now, good. In some work environment, you are not supposed to have too many persons in a room. It affects your functionality. Your privacy is a crucial point. Do you understand? So that can also bring dissatisfaction. You are not free. You cannot even leave your things in the office, and you cannot even discuss with if it's a client that come or want to engage. You cannot do all of that. It's not just here alone. It's not limited to this place. I am a senior lecturer in the University of Benin. Ideally, as a senior lecturer, I'm supposed to have office to myself. But as a share office, that kind of scenario or situation can be likened to work environments that will bring dissatisfaction. You understand? So that is one that is linked to work environment. So that can bring dissatisfaction, and you are not too okay with it. You don't feel your desire is not met. Like you just want to have a space. I've come to realize moving with my orgasm. The older you become, the more space you want to occupy. Have you noticed that? The hotel we went to first wasn't spacious. They couldn't stay there. We have to relocate. We, the younger ones, we say, okay, we'll manage it, but they said they can't stay there. You understand? No, it's just like that. Once you move away from that, you have the next one, which I talk about, relationship. Is that the next one? Supervision. Okay, supervision. Now, supervision can also be, okay, the fourth one is supervision, a relationship. Now, the third one being supervision can also bring dissatisfaction. When supervision are not properly executed, dissatisfaction will ensue. And that automatically will emanate grievance. We are in this class. The way and manner to which you are supervised, the person that is given the mantle of supervision to handle it, if he's not doing it well, you get uncomfortable. Some will be murmuring the way they are doing it. Remember, I said when you are murmuring, that is not grievance. You understand? So most of us are into that. You murmur, you see the way you're doing it. It's not doing it well, but you don't know how to say it. You are just not comfortable with it, but you are angry. You don't know how to say it as. You don't know how to say it as. Either you are scared, or you are thinking if you say it, they will give you attention. So why saying it, right? So when you now summon the courage to be able to now make it formal, it becomes grievance. We said that is another cause again, right? Supervision. When it's not properly done, there is always issues, and that automatically will always affect production. Will always affect the organizational growth. Do you understand? Then the next one that I was talking about, which is employee relations. Employee in every organization succeed with mutual cooperation. When there is the cooperation is not mutual, the organization to grow. Sometimes come on board or dissatisfaction ensue. When the relationship is not cordial, it has a way of affecting the way and manner to which you even act, the way you service the organization, right? Now, these are the ways to which, I also put organizational change. The organization can change. The way the organization change might not be the way you want it, which might result to what? Who can tell us? Dissatisfaction. Yes, other word we use then, when you are dissatisfied, things that people do. Backlash. But we don't backlash that time.
More.
Yeah, backlash.
More.
You revolt. People can revolt. I won't complain and do all of that. When it's that group, they can revolt against it. You get it? So all this can come into being. Now we have the effects of grievance. Effects of grievance. Number one, it can affect production. Number two, it can affect employee. Number three, it can affect management. Do you understand? Okay, I said it before. Okay. The way it can affect employee, when there is grievances or grievance, employee absenteeism will be high. They won't be cooperating again. Do you understand? You see, some of them don't come to work, especially when if there is no law that can really sanction, that can really be based on them. They don't come to work like that, right? Then they also have reduction in the rate of commitments. They are no longer committed to the work-related issues, and they are not also not sincere. Madam, go and take your call over there. Go to the back and take your call. I don't want to see anybody going through here again. Please. That's what? Were you not the one I went to eat yourself that time? Okay, it's all right. Now, once you get this, what we have said now, we have given I've given the effects, and I've also given you the causes, right? The causes. So you must know things that actually bring this satisfaction, right? And the effect. Now, so every other thing I'm going to say now, we're going to see it in this slide. Now, yes, I've given you the types now, which affect individual, right? Then there are common characteristics of grievance. The common characteristics of grievance. I have explained, and my explanation, if you see it, you can even see some of them inside. Now, I told you that when we are talking about grievance is not the only item or the outcome of everything, right? Right? So, the way and manner to which you go, you must understand that grievance, for anything to classify as grievance, it has a number of components. And one of them is dissatisfaction, which I've been saying before, which I explained to you, right? Inability to meet a particular need can lead towards satisfaction. Then the next one is having what? Complaints. You see people ranting, you see people gossiping. It's already getting that attribute of what? Grievance. Then the next one is disputes. Then informality, which is verbal. One talking to the other. Then we have the formality, which is written one. For anything to be called grievance, right? I told you that it must extend to management. And that is where it acquired this attribute, which is formality, written down. Then we have another one arising from employee. This grievance we're talking about is employee related. It's not just other issues. Now we'll move on. We also have it affecting individual in nature, then collective in nature, union movement, real or imaginary issues. So all of this, they are the attribute of grievances, right? So when we talk about grievance, these attributes must be met before we agree that, yes, arising from employee, not management. Management don't have grievance. In fact, we are the one, we agree with the management, we agree with you. You are the one angry with management now. No, they do. Okay, sorry. Please correct it. Yes. Arising from employee. Now, having known the meaning of grievance, you have known the cause, you have known the effect, right? Then we are going to move away from this grievance. You know what it is now, right? Now, let's now look at what we call grievance redress mechanism. Now, this grievance redress mechanism is actually what is designed. It's a design in addressing or resolving everything that grievance brings forward, right? We are not comfortable with the negativity that we make mention of when we talk about grievance. Remember, I told you one of the negative effects or the impact or effect of it is that it reduces productivity and it brings about absenteeism. You still remember? Yes. So, and when there is low production, can the company move on? No. The company cannot make ends meet. When there is high rate of absenteeism from employee, can it be productive as that? No. So based on the fact that we don't want this, we will not need what we will use to see how to eradicate all these negative aspects, right? In addressing the issue that comes with it. That is where and how this redress, okay, sir. This is how this grievance redress mechanism comes on board. If you see what is written here, this is a systematic process designed to address and resolve complaints, concerns, or disputes raised by grievance in any setting. The goal of grievance redress mechanism is to provide a fair, transparent, and timely solution to grievances. That is the essence. So when that is done, you discover that everything will move on smoothly. We'll address the issue, then the company or the organization or the firm or agency can then meet the primary goal of which it was established. Every agency has a goal. Every firm, organization, your workplace, it has a target, right? This target can only be met when we all the employees, right, put in their best into it. If you do not put in your best, just one person is putting his best, the company cannot move on. The company cannot yield success. It's just like the human body that I used to give example the other time. There is a concept in sociology that refers to it as functionalism. Functionalism talks about every human being using human organ now, has different parts, and each of these parts has different roles to which they play. They play this role in collection to make the system work out well. If the system is not working well, you trace it to individual parts or organ. Do you understand? That's why if you move further, people will tell you that we have different systems. we have individual as a system, right? We have organization as a system. We have community as a system. In my area of specialty, if we are addressing issue, we can address issue as related to an individual as a system. We can move on to address issue as related to group. We can extend it to address it as related to community. We don't just dabble and address issue anyhow it comes. Because when you address it like that, you get it, you miss it. So this redress mechanism is actually to identify an area that is not functioning as expected. When that area is not functioning as expected, it has a way of impacting on other areas. If you don't look at it critically well, you would think it does not have a way of affecting it, but it does. Right? If the eye decides not to see, one of the eye is going to affect the entire body. If the nose decides to say, I'll be the one breathing, I always breathe. Take in and bring out hair. I don't want to do that again. You know what will happen now?
Nobody will shut up.
Okay, the leg said, I am the one that brought you from your various houses today. Today, I want to take holiday. I'm not going to work tomorrow. That means you're not going to come here tomorrow.
Yes.
You get it? So each of these parts has function to which it play. As little, as common, or trivialized as this thing you call grievance is, it has a way of impacting on the organization success. Hence, there is need for it to be given adequate attention so that it can not impact negatively on the organization. So every managerial staff, top managerial staff, must always look towards this area to see, fish out if there are possibility of having grievances that might impact, right, on the organization. If there are, or there is, you see that you are seeing something like that, you now work towards addressing it. And that is what this grievance redress mechanism does. Now, components of grievance redress mechanism. There are different components. One is clear policies and guidelines. 2 is designated grievance officers. 3 is investigation and analysis of data. 4 is unprejudiced decision. 5, communication through feedback. Then 6, we have multiple complaints avenue and channels, consistent service standard, clear processing guideline. All of these are the components. Number 1 talks about clear policies and guideline. Do you know there are some persons, they have this complaint, they have desire that are not met. They don't know the right channel to go to take it to. I have seen students, for example, who have come to me, they have complained, but they don't know how to go about it. They have needs that are not met, and it has led to complaint. How to go about it, they do not know, right? Such persons might not be able to register their grievance. Do you get it? So the first thing is to have a policy, open policy that's shown. You see, when we were filling form, we gave to you, there's a column to which will show you that if you have been the facilitator, you have been harassed, any of the facilitator harassed you, right? Indicate. If such provision was not there and you were harassed, how can you not do it? You wouldn't know. Do you get it? You will just swallow it. Like somebody told us, a woman said, having the top managerial staff told the younger or the junior staff to sit on his lap, female to sit on his lap. If there is no clear policy for it, he will keep doing it. He can even call a married woman to come and sit on his lap. You understand? So such will happen, right? Then the other one we'll talk about, sorry, don't worry, we're going to get you the slide immediately before we leave this place. As I promised yesterday, were you giving the slide yesterday? Yes. Good. So before we leave the class today, you get all the slides for this class, right? Okay. Okay, it seems there is challenge in transmitting it, but we'll try our best to see how we can get it, right? He just whispered to me that tomorrow, so I don't know why. I will confirm from him when I'm up with mic. Now, the next one, investigation and analysis of data. Once you already have the complaint, it's not every complaint that is genuine, that is real. Some persons can cook up story just to, maybe they don't like the top manager, to bring them down or to bring your organization down. They can bring such into being. So such data will need to be investigated. You investigate, you check the content of that data or of what the person is talking about. You need to know. You've ascertained the veracity of what he or she is saying about. You understand? So that is where you also need to analyze it, right? Then your decision, you must not be biased. When you are biased in decision taking, it will discourage a lot of persons from coming to give or coming to lay their complaint subsequently. Some, when they give their complaints, right, which is not at the point of grievance, and it's not given adequate attention, they can even discourage others that want to go. If you don't waste your time, if you go there, nothing will come out to. What are you going to do? It's just like in Nigeria today, police case. We're doing reunion of my class. We graduated many years ago. We're doing reunion at a point in time. Said this reunion, let all those persons who graduated together, my first degree, BSc, let's do reunion party. Because it was a class group, and most of us, with the way we introduce ourselves, we were all doing well, or most of us were doing well, though you still have some persons that were not. Then we contributed money to an individual. The person said he has a free account to which he wants to use. We said, okay, if you have this account, we'll be donating this money into your account, right? Then, when we want to use it, you bring the money. Everything was fine. In fact, when we want to attend meeting, he's already the first to come to the meeting. So we said this guy is very sincere, and he's a good man, right? When we got to 2 weeks to the program, please bring money for us to start paying the vendors that we want to use. Oga said he distributed the money to different accounts. We said, we pay the money into one account. Why do you not distribute into different accounts? That was the first question. We said, if you distribute it into different accounts, you will need to go, gather it, transfer it to one account, and give it to. He said that will take him time. So we did everything humanly possible within our reach to see how this man will bring the money. He did not bring the money. 3 days to the event, it was done on us that the money it is gone. Do you know what we now do? We told the entire class, so those who were well to do, still contributed again to ensure that it aired. Now, after the event, we said this man will not go scot-free. We're going to do something about it. One of the first bets, they said we need to use police to arrest this man. You know what people say? Somebody said police. That is what I said, police. Police, you sure? This boy will use part of the money that he collected to also bribe the police. It will not come out. You see it? So, this kind of thing, we discourage people from doing it because they have done it before. It did not work. They are not discouraging others. Like if you do it, it will not also work. It's a waste of time. Instead of spending your money, just keep the little money you have and just continue. If you are able to get it, fine. If you are able to get it, don't live like that. You see it. So that is what is okay. That is what this also talk about. Then we have communication and feedback. They should be able to. There should be proper communication. There should be feedback, right? In every communication that does not have good feedback, there is hardly success. Right? There is hardly success. The feedback is at the point to ascertain whether what you are actually giving out is being received as given out. That's the feedback to which you get. If I say grievance has different components. At the end of this class, I ask you, Vivians, what are the components as you were told? And you are able to tell me that's positive feedback. But if you are not, the feedback, you did not get me properly. You know, communication is one of the biggest problems we have in the world. Most persons don't know. Communication is the biggest trouble. If you look at issues that occur, it is communication that brings the issue first before it escalates further. Like if you see sometimes, some of you here, you use the word what they call violent communication. There's what we call non-violent communication and violent communication. Communication, as simple as it is, can be violent in nature. And we have the one that is not violent, right? The one that is violent is the one that can upset, that can disturb somebody and make the person feel so bad. Okay, let me just ask this question. If you have a roommate, or let's not use roommates, your office mates, your office mates. You have office mates. Each time this person comes to the office, he eats in the office and leaves the rack or plate, leaves it there till the next day. Sometimes he can even leave it and the thing is not smelling. And you have received it time without number. It has happened time without number. He can even leave the office. Sometimes you are both of you in the office, you know that it's your office mate and you want to leave the office, your laptop is there and nothing is there. You can just leave the office and just go out without telling you and the rest. How do you tell the person? How do you tell the person? Do you need to quarrel with the person? Slap him? Don't do this thing again, no. How will you be putting the plates, eating and leaving plates on top of the table as big as you are? You are doing that. Is that how you say this? Who can tell me? Who can tell me how you can say it or tell the person? Politely.
You address the person, you call the person, not in public. Maybe in a chamber or somewhere, private office, and tell the person that please, you leave things when undone. Please try to correct it. It's not good because we voted for a good piece of.
The mama tries. Yes.
Hello. I will call the person and tell him that is like he forgot to remove the plates when he finished eating yesterday. That's how we tell him.
Tomorrow, you have told him before, he will forget again, and you are getting upset. How do you go? Somebody said I'm worried.
I'll put it on his table.
We need to fight, put a bit. Okay, now, if you want to talk, Mama, you want to talk?
No, I want to share the food now.
That's what they put me there.
Thank God, today is faster. Thank God.
That's what I
Politely tell the person to remember that he's sharing the office with someone. So there's a need to always do the office. Both of you be comfortable, politely.
She said politely, talk to the person politely to always keep the
No, no, no.
Because you said the office, some person said you quarrel. You quarrel. No quarrel, you know, will stop. Now, you said you want to say something? Okay.
So let me check my phone now. Charge my phone. Make it a charge.
Hold on for you.
Ma, this now.
Since you have met him or her severally, you have educated him or her, you have talked to him politely, what you need to do? You need to report it formally to the office.
I think the right approach would be, in my case, if I have spoken to you severally and you won't listen, you are still doing it, I'll take it upon myself to take it away.
You get tired. You get tired. In fact, if you not tell your other friend, that other friend will tell you, how will you be taking it off? How will you be taking it off?
Telling the person for several times and the
How many times? Don't say
person you start putting on the person check. That way the person will stop.
The person will stop. This thing is not falling down. No. Yes.
I'm gonna say this one another one.
Only one for the right to name.
Now they talk. This is another.
Just pass on that.
Person, maybe you have addressed the person, you've talked to the person, and he refused to listen. I think you will complain to your superior. Yes. That is, if you have superior, you complain, and maybe they will take it off from there.
Okay, now look at it. Let us move too far so that we can go wherever that class, last class. Now, this is how to engage in non-violent communication. Now, first, taking it up to management is the last resort. It's the last thing you will do, right? Because once you have taken me to management, you have already decided that we are not friends, we are enemy. You understand? So you have drawn the battle. So that's the last point of call. Now the first thing, not just this office example I gave, it can be in your house. It can be, I have heard of a situation where a married relationship was dissolved because the husband, yes, pressed the toothpaste from the bottom, while the wife preferred the top. Just that led to the solution. Yes, just toothpaste. Now, do you know how to go about it? When we are talking about non-violent communication, right? The first point of call is let the person to which you are dealing with, let them understand what they are doing. And also let them know that this thing they are doing, it hurts you each time they do it. You told me not to put the plate here. You did not tell me that each time you put it, it affects me. Are you listening? The example given now is office. If it's in your house, as the case may be, you are telling them not to do it. If you tell them like that, they might not see any reason to stop. Let them know what they are doing, and let them know that each time that is done, please take note of 1, let them know what they are doing. 2, each time this thing is done, let them know how it gets to you. Then the 3rd, how you feel, each time it gets to you, how do I feel? Do you feel good? Each time I ask you to stand up, as elderly person, I say stand up. You didn't do anything. Then I say sit down. How do you feel? You feel bad. If you don't tell me, sir, don't tell me to stop like that again. Issue has started. But there can be non-violent communication. The non-violence is what I'm giving now. You can tell me what I said, the way you spoke to me, the intonation was high. Each time you ask me to stand up like that, I feel embarrassed in the class. I feel not comfortable. Then you now tell me, if you end it like that, you have not communicated in full. You now tell the person what you want. I will appreciate. When next you want to tell me, if it is that one, be polite in asking me to stand up. You have communicated. The person might not get it at that time. When he gets to wherever he's going to, he will regurgitate. He will think about it. The plate he always put on the table, tell them how you feel as they put the plate. Tell them what you want, right? And the person will comply. If you have done that, which is not violence, and the person decline, you repeated this decline before you cannot be thinking of the last result. Do you get it? So let's move out of that place. We are not in communication class, right? Now, I have been able to explain the various components of grievance redress mechanisms. So I have listed them. I was explaining all of this, but you can see this one. They are self-explanatory, right? I've made mention of them. They're consistent in service standard. The standard to which you are giving should be consistent. You should not be biased. I did something wrong. The sanction was carried out 100%. Then the other person did something wrong because it's your friend. The person did not get the same 100%. You are not biased in service. you are not consistent. Consistency means how it was said to one party should also be how it's said to another party. Then everybody will pay attention, will understand how it is. So this is how it is. Then we now have benefit of grievance redress mechanism. One, healthy work environment. When you have grievance redress mechanism working fine, it will bring about healthy work environment. The environment will be healthy. That means everybody will be living fine. Things, your complaints, what is making you not to be happy, that we said, to be redressed, you will be happy. Then the next one is that it can enhance operational efficiency, right? Now, it can also promote inclusivity and better decision making. So once this is done, discover that all of this, you have them in hand. Then this is the continuation of it, the voice for the oppressed, then build trust and mutual respect, then systemic and timely feedback, then create awareness for use. All these are the benefits, right? Now, people will be happy that you give them attention. Their voice are heard, right? Unlike the one that believed before that, when they say something that you will not give them attention, you won't listen to them, right? Now, each time you listen, your boss listen to you when you suggest. How do you feel?
Relevant.
You feel carried along. You want to suggest more, better things. But each time you make suggestions, even if you don't want to use it, if you are a boss, I believe most of you are getting to your top cadre, right? Now, if your subordinate suggests or say a thing, even if you are not going to use it, right? You appreciate it. That will give him or her room to suggest other one that might be useful. The one he's suggesting now might not be useful, but he might suggest the one that will be useful tomorrow. If you discard this one with just wave of the hand, tomorrow the one that may be useful, it won't be opportune to say it. So that is this one that you need to understand, right? Then we look at value chain of grievance redress mechanism, uptake, processing, acknowledgement, investigation, evaluation, and feedback. Is like the value chain, the process to which you pass through in getting all of this done, right? Which I earlier explained, like implication of this, right? Now, we'll now move on to the barriers to filing grievances. Barriers to filing grievances. That means, we have grievances that you did not bring into being. Filing grievances that you have already instigated it, you want management to know now, right? There are things that will make you not to do any of such. One of them is inadequate training, right? Sleeping on your rights, fear of retribution, lack of redress mechanism, hassle of complaining, perception of bias, the leader employees, and lack of awareness. Like the first one you see, the inadequate training, people don't know when they want to do it. Like I told you earlier, students have complained to me, right? They were complaining, but not the grievance. They were complaining. They don't even know what to do. They were just saying it, right? They are trying to ease themselves by saying it, right? Each time you complain, God designed every human to release thoughts. When every thought that is bottled up has a way of having a replay in time to come, which refers to psychology, we call it fixation. Like when you were growing up, what you were supposed to do at a tender age, when you were much younger, in different phases, Sigmund Freud will say, if you don't do it at that particular time, fixation will occur. And when fixation occurs, at a later time, you will start doing what you're supposed to do in the lower state. You understand? That's just it. So if you receive adequate training, adequate thought, you will know where to direct or channel the grievances. Now, the next one is the fear of retribution. If you see some persons, I've heard this woman, each time she wants to make comments, it's only today she has not said it. She will say, I know that they will talk about it, like management talking about it. It's like she's bringing out their leg. All right? Why is she saying that? She's saying the right thing and then thinking that this thing I'm saying now, when management gets to hear, they won't be happy. Because most management or some management, they don't want to hear the truth. You understand? So that is the fear of what? Retribution. When you want to come now, you say, if I hear my grievance now, people might not be happy. They might feedback, they might use it against me in time to come, all of that. So all of these are the barrier in filing the grievances, right? And it continues. In conclusion, in every organization, you must understand that there is always room to address this thing we call grievance. When your needs, the desires are not met, and there is complaint, those complaints should be channeled appropriately. If it is not, then it remains there and it will affect your productivity. Thank you.
It's for complaints.
Just a simple thing. Yes, if something not necessary is to monitor. Second is to monitor, to see whether you are doing what you are supposed to do. Yeah, you see, that is when the one you want, you put in your suggestions box, and people collect it to look at it and address it. That is what grievance mechanism is all about. But for self-income, you go and report, so this person is not doing this, not doing that. Or they go around to find out whether you are doing your work or not doing your work. All those are special ones. But the grievance, you see, most of us, if you enter the flight, for example, any flight, as you are coming down, there is a drop box in your phone. Said if you should fill some questionnaire to actually find out whether the service they offered you are satisfied with it. Is it not true? So if you are not satisfied, areas that you are not satisfied with, that is the area they will analyze and look at it. If majority of those passengers actually complain in that area, it is not left for management to look and try and address those areas. Those are grievance mechanisms. Those are the things, like he said, you are not comfortable with. And in every big institution such as this, you cannot just be coming up and down and go and meet management. Oh, this is what they are doing, you don't like it. And for you to hear your complaint anonymously, because it is not necessary to write your names. It's not true. It's for you to put something on paper and you drop it in that suggestion box. And because they know that they can never satisfy all the wants and demands. And as far as they want to actually increase productivity, because it's a service delivery thing. If you are offering services, you need clients. It's not a manufacturing industries. You get what I'm saying now? You need clients, and you must feed the pulse of your client, whether you are actually delivering what you are supposed to deliver for them, or whether they have value for their money. I think that is what it's all about. And if you equally look at some hospitals, especially the private hospitals, not the public hospitals anyway, they give you questionnaire after you patronize them to fill, to actually look at some areas, whether in terms of customer service is good, whether you saw the patient, the doctors on time, whether the nurse are friendly, whether you do your vitals, when you're supposed to do your vitals, whether the drug session is okay, and so on and so forth. So that when you look at them, the management will address those issues so that their services can be improved upon. We are in a competitive environment. Is it not true? If you come here and you are not satisfied, go back somewhere else. Anybody, any employer or any entrepreneur that want to stay in business will definitely do all those things to satisfy us. Even if you work in an environment, even a project delivery, in communities also, these things, if contractors are working and you are not satisfied with what they are doing, and if the project will have a negative impact on you within the community, what you do is that they have a grievance mechanism box where all these complaints will be forwarded to, and they will equally be addressed as it were, so that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy for it. And if they don't do that, that is where you see that things will be declining day in, day out. When people are not satisfied, people will not come, people will not seek your services and so on and so forth. And in this lecture we are doing, I don't know, do we have the forms? You know, we used to have forms that the students fill also. Is to fill their pulse in their the interaction we have here. Whether you understand, whether you like the mode of teaching, whether the topic that is being taught is good, you like it. You get what I'm saying now? So that we get feedback also. I think this is all what, in summary, this is all what grievance mechanism is all about. And you did very well by actually dissecting the concept. You first and foremost you dissected what grievances is all about. Then you now went to the issue of the grievance mechanism. But what is fundamental is the grievance mechanism aspect of it. Thank you.
Prof, sorry, I want to ask a question. In a situation whereby one is being, as in an organization where you work, you are being forced to join an association. And after joining the association, you are forced again to pay particular amount of money. Then among the ESCOs that know what is being said is not right, if the ESCO says anything, they will lock the ESCO out of the platform, and the members of the association come complaining to the ESCO. What do you think can happen in such? Because there are a lot of grievances now that's currently going on in a particular association. You understand? The complaint has been flying, and it has come to my notice. They have been coming to meet me, complaining seriously to me. So I just want you to give me an idea on how to go about this, please.
Well, when you are being coerced, that is another word. When you say force, that means you are being coerced to join a particular association. I don't believe anybody is being coerced to join an association. Because you ask a question, you are not listening. So I don't believe anybody is being coerced to join an association. Because listen, I don't know about Delta State, but I know about other associations within your workplace. There are rules and regulations. And again, the constitutions are a fundamental human right. Is it not true? So if somebody says you must join, that means you have to seek redress at the law court. That is one. Then secondly, I'm giving away what to do. Secondly, association is not mandatory. It depends on voluntary thing. And there are benefits that goes with it. That if you have issues at your workplace, it is the right of the association, being a member, they fight for you. Is it not true? That is one. Then again, for them to fight for you, you do monthly contributions. Deduct at source. Like in my own, which is ASU, in every now and then, every month, they deduct some amount of money from my salary, saying association due. And we have a lot of ASU lecturers that are not members of ASU. Yes, so many. They were there before they withdrew their membership because they were not satisfied. So they do, yes. Yeah. Yes, see, association is by right. You get what I'm saying now? You have the right to join. We have this is here. There are lecturers in most of our lecturers, about 30% of them are not members of us. They were there before. They were not happy with the functions and activities of the association. They withdrew their membership. They wrote a letter straight to the vice chancellor. We want to withdraw. They should stop taking their monthly deduction from my salary. So if they have a personal issue, you don't expect the association to come to their aid. You get what I'm saying now? They face their music, for example. You get what I'm saying now? So if they don't have a personal issue, they live their lives. For those who want to join, they join. And I know the activities of unions, especially the leaders of unions. They are all thieves. I'll say without fear of contradiction. They are all thieves.
thieves. They are all psychopaths. They align with management for their own personal benefit. That is the truth.
Even the cooperative,
yes.
Even the cooperative escort.
Yes, even the cooperative, they are all still thieves. In fact, I wanted to be a thief. I wanted to join. Later, I wanted to do. No, that is the truth. You cannot take that away. Because I know so that they have some resources hidden. They build houses here and there. We have been working almost in the same sector, the public sector, is it not true? So we experience the same thing among us. So when I saw this, I saw that some of you are here because the truth, sometimes you have to say it. So they don't, the question is, do they actually fight for you? That is the question. So he asked my friend, I will call the chairman of ASU. I said, well, all the money where you don't steal, come back here for me for inside. He can't talk to me. He was still back there. When he was drunk, I said, put 20,000 for grant. He would collect and put her for pocket. And so that is on a more lighter note. The time I saw ASU chairman, when we were drinking, that's what I told him. I said, all the money you have stolen, put 20,000 for grant. Yeah, I take you. So the point I'm making is that they cannot account for all the dues they collect. Maybe most of them, maybe there must be an exception also.
Hello,
most of them, from the one I've seen, probably there are exceptions because you cannot generalize it.
Yeah.
So that is the comment. But when majority,
thank you for watching.
the generalization tends to come in, but most of them, there are some that are equally genuine. If not for what they want to get, why do they normally fight for it? If you actually want to serve the people, why will you fight for it? And you fight for it tenaciously. With gun and everything, you even commit murder. If you want to serve me, why will you be fighting to serve me? So that is for that. Any other question? Any other question? I know you are an association man. Yes, I've been watching you since. You know I'm in the spirit, I know them.
Thank you, our teacher. I think I'm Dr. Austin Agbede, a union officer, a state officer of the union. And also I want to refer to our teaching of managing grievances. I want to appeal to you that you look at the union, they are very vital. Take a recent example of the Abuja union that have boldly challenged the FCT minister. I think no worker can stand even before the FCT minister to say anything one. Then I want to tell you and tell us here that the presence of a sleeping, a weak, a disabled, a lame, a blind, dumb and deaf union is better than none, because you know, you are from the university community, you know what the management of our institution we use our eye to see. But the presence of the union alone speaks a whole lot of volume. So I want to believe and also say that the union, when you go to struggle, maybe it's like war front. Those who are in the war front, they will accuse you of all manner. But I'm going to tell you at times when you go for struggle, even if they offer your child scholarship and they even dash you aeroplane, you will not take, because you will know that it's a setup and possibly they want to use it against you. So I want to appeal to my colleagues who are here, my bosses who are here, our friends and colleagues and our teachers who are here, to believe in the union. The union are doing a whole lot. And you know the work of a union is not excuse me please, I'm calling please, I beg of you, thank you. What I'm saying is the union is not like somebody who buy a car and you see it, somebody who build a house and you see it. It's always a struggle and a struggle and a struggle, not until you get results before you will know that the union is working. So once again, I want to appreciate you, and I want to stand to say the union are doing very well. Thank you, God bless.
I
I think what he said is not far from the truth also. Because among the unions, especially the type of leadership that you have, because if, like I said earlier on, like in my own union, also, for example, we have been fighting the government day in, day out. That is a national struggle. A national struggle is quite different from an institutional struggle. You get what I'm saying? I know that some bosses in the offices, if there is no union, they can do and undo also. So the unions are there sometimes to checkmate. It still depends on the leaders of that particular union. So the good thing is that, one, if you have a very vibrant leader that can actually, at least, that can fly straight 80% or 70%, you will enjoy being a union member. But if you have a union leader that is so ethnocentric, that wants everything for himself, the members of the union will suffer. Because I've experienced it. I have known that there are some union leaders in my union, in my university, who goes to management, collect contracts, they pay money, they don't do contract. And when you ask them why is this thing not in place, they will give you story here, give you story there, give you story here, give you story there. They try to defend the management. So there are some that I'm not of the same page, sir. Yeah, there are some like that. So everything invariably depends on the leaders of the union. If you have a very vibrant union leader that has a target that wants to make a name, and if he lives there, people will need to sing his praises, for example, then you will say, yes, this is a very good union leader. You will enjoy being a union member. And if you remember closely, all of us are witness to this. During Obasanjo regime, when Adamu Shomole was the labor leader president, every time we are doing 418, is it not true? But from the divine, even Obasanjo said it, he will negotiate first. That will benefit him, and will come, all of us will follow knowingly. You see what I'm saying now? Then at the end of the day, we are never at a win-win situation. And he popularized himself, he became governor, he's senator now, he's all in all within our Nigerian state. Using who? Using you and I. Even most of the union leaders today, they are occupying government positions. What difference have they made if they believe in trying to stabilize and improve the welfare of this country? That is a question for you and I to answer. But I quite believe in the point you make, because actually, as arrogant as Wike is, as tough as he claims to be, if not for the union, that would have been a different game altogether. Even as federal government, as stubborn as they are, if not for ASU, I think we just signed an agreement a few weeks ago, if not for the fact that some of us stood our ground. By today, the rest would have been history. But all the same, I said it clearly, unions are fundamental, but being a membership is optional. It is not mandatory. Okay, you wanted to say something? Okay. I think we have exhausted that very well.
Like, wait, now in your university now, some are not subscribing to the union. But when it comes in terms of increase in wages and they are benefiting, so how are they?
No, that's a universal thing. What union fights for individual for is when you are dismissed unduly, the union takes it up to fight on your behalf. But when it comes to the general thing, you benefit, whether you are a union member or you are not a union member.
But they are not subscribing.
If they are not subscribing, doesn't mean, because you cannot say because you are not a union member, I'm getting money, you are not getting money.
So somebody is paying their dues.
Well, that's okay. That's okay, because everybody has his own beliefs. It's like, for example, you are saying I'm not a Christian, I don't go to church. God will not preserve me.
Please, in the case of the public service of data, once you are employed, belong to a particular union. It's not. It's just that the unions are limited. That is, they have a limit band like the civil service union, the Nigerian Union Teacher.
Okay.
You must belong to one.
Oh, your law made it compulsory.
Yes, you must belong to one union.
So it is not, you are not being coerced. It is the.
Let's allow this union.
It is the law. It is the law that made you a union member.
Even if you cross from one civil service to another.
Yeah. It's a law. I can see. I hope it's not you don't want to use to get this safari weapon. So that's on the more lighter note. So we are I don't want to break on. You should just take it. Let's take it in few minutes, then you take your lunch, you go. I think it's better that way now. He that say hi, say he has it. Are you not doing school run today? Some of you are doing school run. And so if you are doing school run, this will not take much time. Let's just school run through it so that we go. Now, okay, stand up. Just stand up. Not going out. Just stand up. Just shake your body. Stand up. Can we just do that? Can we just do that, please? Do that. No, give it okay. Don't worry. You want to do it? You can do it.
Yes,
And you know what it means?
You don't matter.
But only one,
no, I don't do it for another.
I know we are all tired, so let's exercise our body a bit. So my head, my shoulders, my knees, my toes, go down. My head, my shoulders, my knees, my toes, my head, my shoulders, my knees, my toes. They all belong to Jesus.
It's okay. Clap for her now, clap for her. Okay, let's get seated. Let's get seated. Can we get seated? Okay, these other aspects which you are taking is decorum. We are starting the class now. I can stay here till whenever, till I go to the hotel. Yes, it's Prof. I'm just looking at Prof. I can stay here till, if you don't want us to go, we'll stay here. And you will tire. So please, let's just do it and so that we can do other things. Now, the topic before us is protecting the workforce, child labor and forced labor. So the major things we are looking at is child labor and forced labor. So we are going to be fast with it, right? Those persons you're talking, madam, you are disturbing us.
Oh, the shade, okay.
You are disturbing us. Can you keep it? Keep it. When we are done, when you are eating, you can do your writing of your things. Now, the first thing we need to know when we're talking about child labor and forced labor, we must first of all define or know the meaning of a child. Who is a child? There are so many definitions of who a child is, so we're going to start by that. Then we have the definition of ILO, International Labour Organization, has definition for who a child is, and a child has been defined as anyone, either male or female, who is within the age of 18 and below. That is what ILO, International Labour Organization, that is how you define who a child is, right? If you move away from that, you come to Nigeria. We have what they call Child Rights Act, and we also have a definition of a child, who a child is, enshrined in that act. And a child is defined as anybody that is
from 17 years old and below. No little wonder in Nigeria, those persons that are mandated or expected to vote, who we believe can take decision on their own, are people from 18 away above. So that is who a child is, right? Now, when we talk about child labor, child forced labor, there is something that should come to mind. When I offend you, you can easily seek redress. But when children are offended, most often they cannot fight or talk for their rights. Hence, government of the day is the one that fights for them. So government do everything humanly possible to see how they can bring in things that once you do so and so, then it can be brought up to say you have violated the right of this child. Unlike you and I, who are adults, if I slap you now, you can decide to just let it go, right? There is a lady who had help, the one you call domestic help, right? The girl was staying with her in Oshobo, all the way from Calabar. Now, she has lived with this woman for some time. Because this little girl did not wash plates before going to school, this lady used hot iron to smothe her face. Right? Now, the little girl cannot fight, cannot do anything. She only cried and cried and cried. It was the people around that took the matter upon themselves. You get it? Why? Because children in natural sense can actually not fight for themselves. You can fight for yourself. Even that child, that little girl might not even know that what they are done to her is something that is inimical to her living. Might not even know that it's a crime. Might not know that this thing will even impact on her later. You just see it, oh, cry over it and the rest, right? But you and I will know. So government actually puts mechanisms into place to see how this rights, children's rights, when it's violated, how they can seek redress, how we can act upon it. So, one of those things to which that happens to children is this aspect, or what we'll talk about this child labor, right? Talk about child labor and what's it called?
Forced labor.
Forced labor. Now, if you check this slide, I don't know the meaning of who a child is, right? Now, the next thing you must understand, we need to know the meaning of what we call child labor. When we talk about child labor, we are talking about, it refers to employment of children in any work that deprive them of their childhood, potential, dignity, and harmful to their physical or mental development. So please, there is something we are going to understand, because most often, some of us don't know this. There is one thing that you must pick up from this. Because when I was growing up, my late mother, as a very tender young child, I hugged my mother. I sewed, going to hug. You know hawking now? Yes. And almost every one of us did it here, right? Okay, you did it. Okay. Okay, even this place P. Okay. Now, when such thing is done, right? Some don't know the gravity.